Hi everyone, hope you're all doing good. So this is Trading Coach over here, and in today's video we are going to discuss about the price action of Nifty 50. So we will try to understand the price action of Nifty 50 on weekly chart. So we will try to understand what's actually happening behind the scenes, and we'll also discuss about a lot more data points in this particular video. So make sure to stay tuned and also click on the subscribe button and tap on the notification icon so that you can receive more insightful trading contents and more insightful trading lessons just like these. So let us get started. So first of all, when I'm looking at this 1 week chart of Nifty 50, I can notice that the price action of Nifty 50 is actually making higher highs. I can see a very good uptrend over here. So let me mark the starting point of the uptrend. So as you can notice the chart, exactly from the March 2020, that is right after the COVID-19 crash, we had a very good uptrend in Nifty 50 index prices. In fact, if you look at this whole uptrend, right, the prices have climbed all the way from 8,000 to 18,000. That's almost like 10,000 points rally in the index prices. It's a very sharp movement so far, and most of the people who have invested in the stocks have seen some very good returns in the last couple of months or last couple of years. But I think this particular rally which we are seeing here, this specific uptrend on this particular chart might likely to change, or at least it can give a kind of a pullback in upcoming months. So this is how I feel about Nifty 50 right now. I will tell you the reason why I feel like this. So the first and fundamental key point that I want you to pay attention to when you're looking at Nifty 50 is that you can look at the price increase, right? So if I measure the price action, if I look at the percentage increase in the market prices since from the COVID-19 crisis, since from the bottom of the market crash, we can see that Nifty 50 has actually climbed somewhere around 136.27%. It is really a huge move in the index prices, and whenever the index or whenever any particular stock has made such a kind of significant movement, it often leads to a kind of a correction. So this has been the case in the historical data. So if you look at the Nifty 50 index prices on a historical basis, you can notice the similar pattern. You will understand what I'm talking about here, because whenever the index prices have climbed all the way to the peak, right, whenever they have crossed above 80-90% of rally, they often created a kind of a pullback, or they often created a kind of a correction. So here I think a similar case is taking place. So first of all, what I think is here also we may see a kind of a correction, but the correction does not have to be a large one. All right, it can be a kind of a minor correction, or we may also see a kind of a pullback. All right, so we already have a pullback over here. As you can notice the chart, we may see a similar pullback even at this point as well. So as you can see the chart, Nifty has already given the pullback for two different times. So in two different circumstances, we have already seen the pullback in Nifty 50. So after this extended rally, we may get a kind of a pullback just like this. On the other hand, if things get out of order, if we see more selling pressure, if we see more bearish activity, then instead of a pullback, we may also see a very large correction just like this. So even though the chances of such thing taking place is very low, we should be aware of the possibilities, because as a trader, we need to be prepared for it. We also have another important thing. So that is, if you look at the volume of Nifty 50 from the last couple of months, that is since from the beginning of 2021, you can notice that the volume is consistently declining, right? So take a look at the volume over here. So since from the beginning of February 2021, that is exactly from this particular point, the pullback has taken place over here. So right from that point till now, you can notice that the overall volume of Nifty 50 is consistently declining, right? So somewhere in the month of February 2021, the Nifty volume was somewhere around 5.7 billion. That is like 5.7 billion contracts were traded in the market. And right now the volume is somewhere around 1.4 billion. So there is a drastic decline in the volume, and what we see here is called as price volume divergence. So let me write it down. So this is the first and the fundamental thing that we have to notice, apart from the sharp increase in the index prices. So we see a price volume divergence, and right after price volume divergence, I also have another interesting thing that is taking place across the globe right now. The news about the Chinese property giant Evergrande. Alright, so this is a big case over here which is actually happening in the Chinese market. So recently, I think just today, they just came up with a decision to delist the stock prices of Evergrande from the Chinese stock market. So why this is important? The reason is most of the big players are actually paying attention to this particular news. So if we see any kind of major economic downfall in China, that economic downfall can also have an impact. So even Nifty can have a drastic correction if this turns out to be a big thing. This is already a big thing, but the markets are not yet pricing in the impact of a major or a drastic fall. In fact, if you're looking at the Chinese market from last couple of months, the Chinese markets are consistently correcting. They are on a correction phase. So the global markets are not yet following that particular route. But if this particular collapse becomes a big thing, this can turn out to be a major black swan, and the stock prices can correct even further. So this is another a major theme which we need to pay attention to. So as of now, markets are not yet feeling the impact, but if markets start to pay more attention to this, then we may see another major drastic fall in the stock prices, given that the index prices are already trading at all-time highs, right? We are going to see a very hard landing if this becomes a major crisis. So not only that, I also have another important key point which you all need to pay attention to. So this is FII DII data point. The FIIs, or the foreign institutional investors, are actually selling the stock, right? So if you look at the data over here, since from September 27 to all the way till September 30, we can see that in the last week, in the last trading week precisely, the FIIs were the net sellers of the stock, right? So the foreign investors are exiting from the stocks here. This is actually a sign of a concern, not just because they are selling the stocks, but because of all other factors which we see here. So we have declining volume, we have a huge rise in the index prices. We also have a kind of a crisis which is brewing in the background that is happening in China. And now we also have the FIIs, or the foreign institutional investors, pulling their money out of the market. So this is another major concern which we need to keep an eye on. But despite declining volumes, what is causing the market prices to increase? So what's pushing the market prices to new highs? So the answer has to be with the DIIs, or what we call as the domestic institutional investors. So if you look at the activity of DIIs, they are exactly opposite to what FIIs are doing from the last couple of weeks. So you can notice that the DIIs are consistently buying the stocks, right? So if you look at the market data from September 27th to all the way till September 30th, they have consistently purchased the stocks, and maybe their buying activity is what really pushing the prices of Nifty 50 higher. But I don't think that is likely to sustain for a very long time. So because of this, because of all these different facts, I'm actually expecting the Nifty 50 prices to correct a little bit. It doesn't have to be a major correction, but at least we can expect a kind of a pullback, just like what we have saw, pullback just like this, instead of seeing a major correction just like this. So what I would do is I would exit from my positions in Nifty 50, and I will also look for a price action trading setup. if I get a kind of a good trading setup, if I get a good a counter trend trading opportunity over here, I would go ahead and initiate a short trade. At the same time, there are also possibilities, the prices might continue to climb and the market might make another new high without even giving any correction or at least any pullback. So stay tuned, keep your eye on the price action, keep your eye on this 1 week chart and take your decisions accordingly. So let me know your thoughts about Nifty 50. So let me know what you think about the index prices in upcoming days. And if you have any questions or any doubts, leave it in the comment section. And finally, if you like this video, kindly click on the like button. Thanks a lot for watching and happy trading.